Hello, everyone. Now, I'm very confused with what day it is with Easter coming up. So, Michaela, who is our guest today, tell me what day it is.
It is Wednesday, I believe. We're
Wednesday,
still at Wednesday, yes.
peak of the week.
Absolutely.
I feel like
The
I've been
best time to join us live.
exactly best peak of the week. I feel like I've been like a day ahead of myself. But like tomorrow is Thursday, but really it's Friday because it's Easter.
I know, I must admit I forgot to put the dates of Easter in my diary. So yeah, I'm quite excited now to have some time and space. So
Yes.
fabulous.
So, hello to everyone who's joining us. If you're here, say hello, give us a little holler in the comments. But I'm very excited because today we have Michaela joining us. I keep saying us, i.e. me. And Michaela is one of our friends. Like we've known each other for like years now. It's been years.
Yes.
And Michaela is a force to be reckoned with. She's a co-founder of a multi-million-pound company, is an expert in human potential, is a speaker. Like literally, there's nothing you can't do.
I always love doing a live with you. I always feel really good after it. Can you always do my intro, Cheryl? Thank you. That's very, very
True.
kind.
It's true. And we're so excited because Michaela's going to be joining us at our retreat in April as part of our power panel. So it's so exciting. So we thought it would be really great to just turn up today, peak of the week, just before Easter, and just chat a little bit about mindset, about manifestation, because Michaela, like I say, is a force to be reckoned with. And you have been working really hard on your mindset, haven't you, over the last few years? And now what you've manifested in your reality basically shows the work that you've put in, right?
Yeah, it's been quite a slog at times, but I'm definitely getting there. Learning some really good habits, I think, has been the key for sure.
Yes. So I think it's always great to like share a bit about our story. And hi,
Yeah.
Naomi. Other guys, it just says Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but afternoon, hello. Um, so when you started off on this mindset journey,
Yeah.
like what was different about your life then?
Yeah, really good question. I think one of the big things for me was that I was feeling quite overwhelmed. So I had very big ambitions, always being very purpose driven. And I think it was starting to feel like it was almost too much. And I didn't quite know how to take it that next step further. So on occasions, I was feeling, quite burnt out. There was a moment in time where literally my business partner and my partner in life, they both literally got together and took my laptop away from me. So Kate and Russell had a conversation, felt that I was, heading towards burnout, and physically took my laptop off me, and made me go on holiday. And it was a real turning point, I think, for me, feeling that the business was going well. Yes, there was challenges, there was things that needed looking at and working on, but it was always, I was in a bit of a kind of a on a bit of a hamster wheel and never really giving myself the time and space to think. So I was very much in it constantly, and not taking a step back to look at the problem, to think about how we can solve it. And I think we've probably all felt moments like that in our lives.
Mm.
But it was a real turning point, I think, for me to think, actually, this is not how I want my life to be. And, this isn't my, I guess, vision for what I want to achieve in life. And then one of the things that has really helped support me over the last few years is obviously thinking about visualization, which was something that I feel I'm really good at now, but it's taken a while to get to. So really starting to kind of sit into that feeling of like, who is Michaela? Like who do I want to be as a leader, as a business owner, in my personal life? Like, what does that actually mean to me? And how can I make sure that it's meaningful and I'm having an impact, but I'm also having fun along the way? I feel like at times I'd forgot to have fun. So
Mm.
I don't think I've necessarily, I think about this a lot actually. Like, is it that I've changed? What is it that's happened over the last few years? Do you know what? I think I'm just, for the first time ever, I'm actually me. I think for a lot of times, I was I was always there and everything I need is absolutely inside of me, but I just wasn't allowing myself to really kind of be my true self. I think we all have these, you and Donna talk a lot about the kind of masks that we wear and our inner critic and all. And I think because all of that was going on, I was perhaps being who everyone else needed me to be, not who I actually wanted to be. So some of the painful discoveries has been things that, like, things like not everyone's going to like me, you know, and as a self-confessed people pleaser and recovering control freak, I'll say, that's really hard to swallow. That's really tough when you kind of have to go through that process of just unpicking that and what does that mean. And for the first time ever, I was actually talking to some colleagues about it this morning. I'm actually okay with it. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's all right, because there'll be people out there that are interested in what I have to say and it resonates with them, or there's something that helps them feel perhaps less alone when building and scaling a business, because it can be incredibly lonely. And there's not many people who will understand what you're doing, how you're feeling, and you'll get a lot of strange looks as well from people, which often happen to me.
I love that. I love that overview. I think it's and let guys who are watching, like, and when you're on replay, just let us know if that's resonating. But I just love that. It makes my heart sing when I hear you say, I just now feel like me, because like you say, when we first met you, balance was not a word you would use, right?
No,
You weren't balanced. It was
no.
like, say, like you've just said, work, 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 work. There's a song in there. And for them to have to physically take your laptop off is feedback, right? Because you were heading towards burnout. And when we're in that phase, like you say, on the hamster wheel, like loads of women say that to us, we're on a hamster wheel, we don't know how to get off. Like, you can get off the hamster wheel, right? But you don't know how to get off the hamster wheel. So you just keep going
Yeah.
round and round. And you're not aware, are you, when you're in that overwhelm, burnout, and really focused on wanting to, have positive intentions with your business, but nowhere else. When you're in it, you don't know you're in it, right? You just keep going on the hamster wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's also something about like toxic positivity in that as well, that you're on this hamster wheel, but then there's so many things that is going really well in your life that you're kind of thinking, oh, well, I have to be positive because of that. And you don't actually allow yourself to just sit in those feelings and be okay with not feeling okay. Um, and actually then thinking about, okay, well, how do I get off the hamster wheel in a safe way? Because you don't want to just launch yourself off, because that kind of might not be the right thing either. So I feel like I've taken myself off the hamster wheel, but in a really safe way. And one of the things that Kate, my co-founder, and I talk about is that, running a business is like being on a roller coaster sat on a dining chair.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I might still be in a dining chair, but I have a seat belt now,
Yeah.
and it's much more stable. And I feel like I'm much better in the business because I'm actually taking care of myself
Yeah.
and giving myself the time and space. The only thing I'll know, and you know this, Cheryl, from conversations you and I have, I can't say that I achieve that perfectly every day or even every week or even every month. So let's not pretend that like you suddenly have this epiphany and it's all about self-care and we feel great every day, because that's just not real life. And I think that's what I mean about the toxic positivity. I think the thing I've really learned is it's okay to just be really open and honest with how you're feeling and actually sharing that more with people. I think before I used to feel like that was something that I had to keep to myself. And if I shared that, I wasn't a leader, whatever that means, or, I wasn't protecting the people around me. Whereas now, just sharing that with more people, I think really builds resilience, and having those really meaningful connections
Yeah.
actually help me feel better, because there's things I learn from other people, from them sharing, and then hopefully in some way from me sharing that might just help someone else not feel quite so alone as well.
I love that. And that comes back to the point that you said of, I'm just me, where before, and as we are, many women, we wear masks because, like you said, being a people pleaser, wanting to be what you thought other people wanted you to be. And actually, now you're really comfortable at being me and you've dropped some of that. And what you said there was, you weren't, you'll accept that some people, be some people's cup of tea and you won't be others, like Donna and I.
Yeah.
But I think the key thing in there is you, like you.
Yeah.
To say you're now me, unapologetically
Yeah.
standing in your power, showing, being more vulnerable, sitting in your feelings, leading, showing that as a powerful leader, that's healthy to do that. And the reason that you're able to do that is because you love you like you. So
Yeah.
when we do the work, the inner work, the mindset work to like and accept and love ourselves, we are less bothered and we are working less hard and wearing masks. I wonder what everyone else thinks, because most importantly, what truly matters is we like we.
Yeah.
I like me, I love me, I accept me. And if other people do, great. And if they don't, great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as part of that process, it's also forgiving yourself for the things that you did, the things that you said when you were just trying to survive. And I think that's so important, because there's so many times that we beat ourselves up about things, or we reflect on things that we've said or situations we've been in. And of course, it's a learning experience. And I think it's important to like work through it so that you can learn from it and take things from it. But then you've got to let go. Like, that is in the past. You've got to forgive yourself, because there is, every single one of us has stuff that is going on in our lives, whether it's personally or professionally or a mix of both, that we are just trying to get through. So sometimes we might be a dickhead because of it, you know? And sometimes you just have to forgive yourself, because we are only human. And I think that's been such an important lesson for me, and still one that I keep coming back to, because it helps me reframe situations, laugh at myself a little bit as well, and vent when I need to. But all of that kind of helps you build that resilience and that mindset that, it keeps you going when
Yeah,
things are tough as well.
I love that. Bounce back ability, that's what we like to call it, right? When you've got a strong, and this work, right? When you work on your mindset, as Michaela said, this doesn't mean you won't get setbacks. I love the metaphors of being, I think on the hamster wheel, you can't just dive off. You like slowed it down. You
Yeah.
found the brake, you slowed it down, then you stepped off. Now you're on a roller coaster, you've got your seatbelt on. You're not like wondering if you're going to like fall off when it's upside down right at the top. And it doesn't mean you won't have these.
Yeah.
Life keeps life in. But when you do the work on your mindset, like Michaela has, the bounce backs are fewer, they're shorter. And same for me, same for Donna, right? This is a daily practice. This is why it's called daily spiritual practice. We have the tools and techniques, and we have to use them every day, because something will happen that triggers us, and then we use the tools that we've learned to bounce back and get ourselves back to neutral, or wherever it is that we feel good in, having fun,
Yeah.
enjoying ourselves. It doesn't mean you, ta-da, it's, I've arrived, I'm perfect. Like that, there's
Yeah.
no more work now. It's
Yeah.
daily work, but it's easier. It gets easier, right?
Yeah. And also, perfect is like a myth. It's unattainable. Like, we should be focused on progress, not
Yes,
being perfect. And I think
agree.
that's also links in, doesn't it, to just liking yourself and, accepting that you won't always get it right, but just being more open about that. And I think sharing, we were talking about it just generally, not but about just us as individuals, but as the business. I was talking to our marketing team this week, and we were saying, it's great to share and celebrate all the amazing things that we achieve on a monthly basis, and sharing that with our audience and our learners and things, which is great. But I also said to them, let's also share the things that we didn't get right, and the things that we're still improving on, and the things that we're still working on in the background, because I think by doing that, it helps people feel safe to share those as well.
Yeah.
And it's not always about, I'm not talking about, huge disasters and failures, but that might be part of it. But it's also just those little incremental changes or things that we've recognized that just didn't quite work, or, we might have given a bit of feedback to someone and we just didn't do it quite in the right way because we were feeling overwhelmed ourselves that day. So we didn't create the right environment and the time and space to actually give that feedback in a
Yeah.
loving way, but in a way that's supportive and constructive and all of those right things. So that's just something that we're trying to do, not only for ourselves in the business and as part of our culture, but also how we share that externally as well.
Love.
And I think that's something that you don't always see
No.
from businesses. And I personally, I think, would much rather work with an organization that has a bit more of a kind of warts and all view on
I
things,
love
not
that.
just the good news stuff.
I love that. It's real, right? And it comes back to
Mm.
you just being you. It's real, it's growth.
Yeah.
And if you've got any questions for Michaela, please pop them in the comments box and we'll answer them. And so the other thing is you've done loads of work in your mindset. You've created more balance, more fun, more expansion, more growth in work, in personal, outside of your own company. Like you're evolving and expanding in all aspects of your life. And tell the guys like how that is manifested, like in reality what's different now, because guys, right, we're manifesting 24/7.
Yeah.
So either manifesting what we want to have happen or what we don't want to have happen, but our
Hmm.
thoughts and beliefs are manifesting all of the time. Now you've got really conscious about what you think and believe. What is different in reality in your life?
Yeah. Even at a kind of very fundamental level, day to day, the way in which I work and give myself space is completely different to ever before. So before, I was traveling all the time. I'd be in the office with the team, I'd be traveling to see clients, I'd be doing all these things, and I do genuinely love to travel. But I would say my way that I show up and I, create my kind of week and month is totally different to what I used to do. So I definitely have let go more. If there's any of our team listening, don't comment if you know, I'm joking. No, I definitely have. And they're giving me feedback like it's still a progress, right? Because it's my baby. Like we can't just suddenly step away from the business. But I think we've given a lot more control over to the team. I'm able to take a step back and focus on the things that bring me joy in the business as well. And that very much is our purpose and our strategy, and how do we have an impact on more people. So, the way that my weeks and months look now are completely different to a few years ago.
Mm,
Joining things like, these lives with you, I probably would have said to you if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I don't have time for that. Like, I can't squeeze it in, which is just
mhm,
nonsense. We all have the same amount of time, but it's making sure I prioritize the right things. So, we're about to launch a podcast and we're investing our time and energy into recording that, which will be a huge marketing and profile raising activity. And to be honest, Cheryl, we just haven't given the time to that before because
mm,
we were in the detail, we were in the day to day, and we weren't giving ourselves the headspace to do it properly. Um,
mm,
so things like that, like my day is just a much better structure. I make sure that I go and have breaks to re-energize and do the things that make me feel good. I'm exercising more, I'm looking after myself more. And I genuinely think the biggest thing that I've manifested is better relationships with the
oh, I
people
love
that I love. So whether
that.
that's kind of Russell, my partner, my mum, my family, my relationship with Kate, my co-founder, I feel that that's in a much better, not that it was, none of it was in a bad place, but I wasn't present for any of them. I wasn't
Mm,
I wasn't showing up as who I want to be as Michaela in those relationships. And I feel like now that that's a real big thing that I've manifested. With friends, I would have been, canceling on them, not turning up to things because I was on the hamster wheel. And now, I commit to those things because I really want to, and it brings me joy, and I feel good to be with them. I think before, because there was so much going on in my mindset, and there was a lot of guilt there as well if I did do things for myself or did do things that I thought were like more fun and joyful. And now I do them from a really good place, and I
I
feel
love
like
that.
I can enjoy them more as well. Same with things like holidays and taking proper breaks. Um, and Kate and I do things like now where, our board meeting and leadership meetings are once a month, and we do something fun around it to make sure that we keep celebrating how far we've come. Whereas
Mm,
before we were just always on to the next thing and always on to the
yeah,
next big goal. And we never really took that step back to say, like, look how far we've come. Like, this
yeah,
is incredible. And there's always a part of us that is still on to the next thing. So, we haven't quite got that right. And we do keep checking in with each other on that to make sure that we do recognize the progress that we've made. But even by having that marker each month to
yes.
kind of reflect on it and do something joyful together, it's just changed like the way we feel about the business and what we get from it as well.
I love that. I love that. Better relationships. And, most of us want to call in more abundance, better
Yeah.
health, better relationships, love. Like, this is what we're wanting to manifest in our lives. So I love that. Out of all of that, that's one of the big things that you've really noticed improve by how you're showing up. So
Yeah.
as I said before, so Michaela is going to be on our power panel in Manchester on the 28th. So it's 2 weeks tomorrow. 2 weeks tomorrow, yeah. 2 weeks tomorrow, we are running a one-day live event in this amazing venue in Manchester on a rooftop, and Michaela is going to be part of our power panel. And that day is all around mastering your mindset, helping you to get some tools that we are talking about that we use every day, taking them away so that you can start to manifest and get more balance and call in love and better relationships and more abundance, like whatever it is you desire. And you've been to our
I have. I've been to
one day
retreats
event,
before.
haven't you?
They're amazing. I feel like it's a real full circle moment for me. Having attended a retreat and then having the honor of being asked to be on a panel is just amazing. So I think the big thing that I got from the retreat again is that time and space to just focus on you and think about what you want and not have that noise or the distraction or the kind of guilt. I remember being there and having a little bit of guilt at the moment, almost feeling like I was kind of nicking off school or something, which I know is ridiculous, but I can't, that's always what I come back to. Not that I did that, of course, when I was at school. um, but I think if people are really serious about, you know having their best possible experience of life, and wanting to change their mindset but not knowing what that means, what that looks like. I didn't, but by attending one of those retreats, you're kind of allowing yourself at least to have the first step to explore that by giving yourself the time and space to really think about what all of that means for you, and what your purpose is around it, what your goals are. And also you get to meet incredible people, which I really love about knowing you and Donna and Cheryl, is that I've met so many incredible people because of the network that you've created, and all these fantastic women and men and everyone who's trying to just focus on what mindset means for them. And it all shows up differently, doesn't it, for different
Yeah.
people? And I think whatever anyone's reason for going is, they will get what they want from the retreat, because it's just applicable in every element of our lives.
I love that. We're so excited. And like I say, it's full circle. You've showed up, and now you're on the power panel. And we've got some other amazing women who are on the power panel as well. Jo Swan, Dawn McGrewer, Caroline Strawson, Casey Paul, who's flying in from Portugal. So it's just going to be so. Feel like, have I missed somebody? Is that it? Yeah. So yes.
It's
So
a pretty incredible panel.
it's an
I feel a
incredible.
little bit, Yeah, I'm keeping my inner critic quiet because I feel like, how am I in this panel with all these incredible women? But
Who's got imposter syndrome
yeah,
about
I'm
being in
super
the panel?
excited. Yeah.
I now feel the need to go and look because I feel awful if I miss somebody out. No, I haven't. Yes, good. So I have put the link in comments, guys. The link's in our profile. Like, please go and check out if you want more information about this retreat, because you still have time to buy a general ticket or a VIP upgrade. Everybody who has purchased a ticket so far is going VIP. So it's going to be VIP.
Very cool.
Fizz party at the end of the retreat. So please check out the link. And if you've got any questions, drop me or Donna a DM. And yes, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. It's just so, I mean, we speak to each other a lot, don't we? But it's so nice to just, for you to share where you started and where you are now, because mindset, you can't see it, right? So sometimes if I said to you, do you want this? It's something physical, but our mindset's metaphysical, right? We can see how our life is different physically, but it's about working in here. And sometimes it's hard to translate to people what you will get when you do the work. So it's great to have you to show up and really explain how your life's changed, because it's life changing, right? This stuff is life changing. And this is what we want for everyone out there, to know this, to learn it, to get the tools so that they can be happy and live their life with joy and balance and love and relationships, because that's what everyone desires. It's what everyone deserves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us. Any questions or comments, pop it into, if you're on #replay, just pop it into the comments and we will answer. And yes, have a fabulous rest of the peak of the week, everyone, and we will hopefully see you on the 28th of April in Manchester. Right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Thank you, Michaela. Bye.